The game might be over, but we're just getting started. Welcome to the Todd Fox postgame podcast, your go-to spot for real, unfiltered Angels talk, win or lose, on the Halos in the Infield Network. You never know what's going to happen. Walk-offs, meltdowns, heroics, or straight-up typical Angels disasters. We're breaking it all down. Who stepped up and took home the Golden Stamos, the most prestigious award in baseball? And who embarrassed themselves so badly they're stuck with the dreaded Nacho Night Award? Drop your comments, call in, and sound off. We're reading them all. So like, share, subscribe, and buckle up, because this show pulls no punches. And yes, Anthony Rendon is still a fragile little bitch. Take it away, Todd.
I'm a fox. My name's Todd.
Wiener, 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 next to another wiener, 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 two wieners alongside yet another wiener party, wiener party, party party, wiener wieners nice and soft, non-erect wieners. Flopping wieners, flopping wieners, dangle wieners, dangle wieners in my bag.
Stop, please. I can't take anymore.
I can't take anymore. Welcome into another episode of the Heady Postgame podcast here on the Halos of the Infield Network. I am your host, Todd Fox, on a Saturday afternoon. Hopefully everything is going all right for you and yours as you start your Saturday off. But not so much for the Angels today, as the Angels go down once again, this time at the hands of the Twins once again. And it sucks because, you know, you figure this team should be much better. They should be playing a lot better. They should be in a better position. However, not so much, as the Angels drop another one 5-1. And in this game, you're going to say, well, Todd, the pitching was bad, and the Angels get the loss because of pitching. You can argue that to a point. And then you could say, well, the pitching turned it around and saved them. I mean, it was evident from the start that Kikuchi wasn't getting tattooed, basically, but he basically was giving up he was getting singled to death. And I don't know if other teams are watching this show. I don't know if they figure, okay, you know what, maybe that's the way to attack the Angels, is single them to death. But, you know, the last couple teams have taken well advantage of what the Angels are giving them. And credit to the Angels when they try to adjust, and when they do adjust, they kind of stop the bleeding. Now they're mortally wounded. Let's just say that. The Angels are like a soldier. They're mortally wounded in battle, but they stop the bleeding. They can delay the process, give their, provide some cavalry fire for their other opponents in the field, and give their other soldiers an opportunity, which is the hitting, to claw their way out of a foxhole, right? To use Army references. But they're mortally wounded because the offense is not going to save them. They're just not going to save them. If you continue the same process over and over and over, it winds up being insanity, because you're doing the same stupid stuff that got you in the same predicament over and over and over. It's not going to change. I mean, raise your hand if you're tired of the hitting approach. If you're tired of the same useless, let's not watch video, let's not study the film, let's not do what we can to find weaknesses in the opponent's pitcher. Let's not try to take advantages of walks by stealing. They're dead last in stolen bases. Dead last. Near dead last in strikeouts. Only Colorado and Chicago, and I think Oakland, are worse in strikeouts. I take that back. Boston has the most strikeouts. But they're right there. They're like 26th or something. You're striking out too much for a team that can't score runs and has trouble manufacturing runs. Giving the opponent easy outs and striking out constantly is not helping your cause. This team is just full of wieners right now. And again, you had a record today by the Minnesota Twins, and once again, it's a record at our expense, at the Angels. Angels always love giving shine and records to other teams. The Minnesota Twins, for the first time in their history, singled 6 consecutive times. 6! I mean, again, Kikuchi was roughed up, but you look at the rest of the bullpen. And yeah, Shonawell went down, one of our most patient hitters. He's got a contusion. He'll probably mostly miss tomorrow, and he'll be back for Seattle. No big deal. But can we... I don't know what to say about this management. I'm always that guy that unless you have severe incompetence like Phil Nevin, Numbnuts Nevin, I was always like, axe Nevin. He sucks. Fire the guy. He's not a good manager. He's way in over his head. He doesn't provide anything except a mean look. And I thought Joe Madden was too nice of a guy. Baseball knowledge, good. But way too nice to fight back against the analytics. Way too nice with the ball players when they acted out. No discipline whatsoever, right? And then I thought Ron Washington's probably the perfect of the two. He can provide that fire when he has to, and then he can have that loving embrace and really calm a pitcher down, calm a player down. But the more and more I'm watching Ron Washington and staff, the only guy I don't want to part with on this team is Barry Enright and his crew. Right now, I'm like, fire Washington, fire Sal Fasano, who just got here, fire everybody except Barry Enright and his crew. I'm very, very pleased with what Enright's had to work with because because of Artie, I think Manassian's a good general manager. I think he's very hamstrung. But I think if you had a competent owner that was willing to actually man up and spend money, I think Manassian, you'd see the best out of Manassian. Right now, you can't do anything. You're so hamstrung at this point. I'm sorry, Fishbowl. You are unlucky with sports and the team. But we'll get into what happened here today and everybody else who's on the various sites that we're going live on right now. I appreciate you all for being here on a tough Saturday. I mean, this was another tough game to watch. Again, this Minnesota Twins, we're making them look good. You have guys like Harrison Bader, who was 0 for his last 16, and he winds up with 2 hits. Why? And when I'm talking about firing coaches, look what the Twins do. Rocco Baldelli, former Tampa Bay Ray, had a list of injuries, reminded me a lot of a few of the Angel players that have had high expectations but never really panned out. Rocco Baldelli was that kind of player for Tampa. I don't know how he is as a manager for the Twins. I don't follow him that much. I know they've struggled, this, and that, but what he does know is hitting. And what he did do for a team that's slow out the gate, sort of like the Angels, they're now only 11-16. They were 9-16 before facing us. But he teaches and preaches and tells the guys, go the other way when you're struggling. Take what the defense gives you. Who said that yesterday, the day before, the day before that, the day before that, the day before that, the month before that? Me. And anyone else who's smart that knows that, hey, you go the other way, switch things up, change things up, steal bases when you get on. Give the pitcher a different look. Instead of chasing high heat, surprise him and go for stuff down and in or down and outside. Go the other way. Pull the ball. Do something to mix it up to make the pitchers think that, I can. Because right now it's like, just strike out Trout with a high heater. And if he's fouling off the high heaters and if he's on point with those, give him a changeup or a curveball or a slider down and away. It strikes out every time because he's trying to pull the ball. He doesn't go to right. And guess what? The other night when he actually did go to right, it was a single. But these guys look useless out there because they still have the same uppercut swing. And you know what? It was so funny and poetic that you heard Gubazon. I love Gubazon, but I'm hating his rhetoric because he's given a script to go off of. But I hate the fact that you hear Gubazon say, well, there goes another one into left field right there. That wasn't hit all that hard. And he's disappointed that the Twins are getting hits that aren't hit very hard. Well, it's because they're going with whatever you're pitching to them. If you're going to hang one on the outside corner, they can't exactly pull up and try to swing for the fences because then they'll roll over and hit a weak ground ball, or they'll just pop out or strike out like we do on a normal basis. But they're not stupid like we are, and they'll take what the pitcher gives us. Like, okay, if it's going to go on the outside corner, I'm going to swing away and poke it into right field. If I'm a left-hander and they put it on the outside corner, I'm going to poke it into left field. And they're working with what they've got, and it's fine. I give them all the kudos, all the flowers, whatever the kids say nowadays. But I'm not going to give that to the Angels because the Angels continue to do the same shit. And here's one thing that blows my mind. A lot of people like the Soler move this year in the offseason. A lot of people don't like that move. A lot of people think he sucks. A lot of people think he's really good. But I'll tell you one thing. For me, the jury's still out. I know what he's done the previous years, and you can't really go off of that because he's been swapping teams, this, and that. He finished a year strong, whatever, right? But the jury's still out because the way we're using him, I think we're effectively stunting his growth that he had. You mean to tell me, Ron Washington, and all your stupid nerds upstairs, this dude was starting to hit really good in that 4th spot at 262. Was he striking out? Yes. But was he getting hits and doubles? Yes. He wasn't clobbering 8 home runs because you didn't need him to do that. He only has 4 or 5 at this point. That's fine. But notice some more when you put Jorge Soler in an unfamiliar spot, in a spot that he's not good at. You take a 262 to 265 hitter, and you now look at his average, 237. He went 0 for 4 again today. He's only had 1 hit at that leadoff spot. Experiment over. There was no need to put him at number 1. Taylor Ward's ass needs to be out of there too. But granted, he's hitting. Oh, no, he's not doing shit still because he's on one of his peaks and valleys, which now he's on a valley. And this is a type of player that I've been screaming at the last 2 years that the Angels just need to get rid of. And the time's up. You're done, bro. Get him out of here. We're tired of it. It's the same old song and dance. But guess what? Honks will be like tomorrow when he hits a useless solo home run. Hey, Taylor Ward, baby. That's our left fielder. That's my left fielder. No, Taylor Ward sucks. We've seen the same song and dance with him for the last few years. He ain't getting any better. He's only going to get worse. And when he hits his peaks, everyone's like, oh, Taylor Ward's been carrying the team for over a week. Yeah, but what happens when he's not carrying the team for 2 weeks? When he can't hit the side of a barn with a bat? He went 0 for 4 again today, lowering his average down now to 200. He's at the Mendoza line. That's your number 4 hitter? That's your your leadoff hitter? He can be fixed. But you need to work on going the other way. You need to go on. Stop looking at shit down the middle. Protect the plate. Be more judgmental on pitches outside, inside, up, and down. But if it's anywhere in your strike zone, after the first at bat, you should know when everyone goes through the lineup, you should know where the umpires are calling the ball. So if the umpires are calling it for both sides down and in, and that's going to be the strike zone, or they're calling the corners, then you kind of know you got to adjust. Okay, I'll give you that first at bat through the lineup. But when we're still on bat number 4 and ain't doing shit, and they've gone through a couple of pitchers, it's not like it's the same guy who's just like killing it for them, then that's a you problem. That's not a them problem. That's not the umpire's problem. It's your dumbass that can't make a fucking adjustment during the game. Yeah, I'm pissed. Because, again, Kikuchi didn't have it, but did Kikuchi give up 7 to 8 runs and bury you in the first 2 innings? No, he pitched out of it. And then when they needed a bullpen, a chance to come through, the bullpen did. Look at the numbers. Kikuchi gave you a shit performance, right? But he didn't leave you hung out dry. He walked 4 guys, got no strikeouts. Gave up 4 runs on 9 hits. Okay, you get rid of him. You bring in Johnson, the kid everyone wrote off after opening day. 4 strikeouts, 2 hits and 2 innings. Looked dominant. Detmers, 2 innings, 1 run, 2 hits, 2 strikeouts. Fermin looked most dominant out of all of them. I like that kid's stuff. I've liked it since they brought him in from, I think it was Dominican or was it Venezuela? It was one of those countries that brought him in. I think it was an international pickup. The guy's good. He's really good. He's got some intense stuff. I think that's a guy they should have pulled up instead of these whack jobs, but they gave Fermin a little time to marinate down the minors, and he looked good through 1 inning. He's not going to pitch like that every game, but at least he'll give, you could see the movement on his stuff. He's got electric stuff. And then McDaniels came in there. I like him too. He's a kid that's going to grow with time as well. You got to give him time, but they gave him an inning, and he did a good job. So all in all, when you look at what they did today, you circle the 5 walks, but 4 of those were Kikuchi's fault. Only 1 by the bullpen in 6 innings. Not bad. And then you managed to strike out 8 players after that. Not bad. Since Kikuchi didn't get any when he pitched, all 8 came from the bullpen. And only 4 hits. The point being, fellas and ladies, you literally were given an opportunity. When Kikuchi left, it was 4-0. That is not impossible, but apparently so for your Anaheim Angels of Los Angeles, of Orange County, of the Western Hemisphere, Republic of China. Apparently that's a problem. Apparently we have no rally behind us. We cannot rally our honks whatsoever. Because Woods Richardson, yes, the world famous Woods Richardson, pitched 5 1/3, 1 run on 4 hit. Then they had 4 guys come in there. The ever so famous Stewart, Jax, Varlin, and Duran. Household names. Knocked us out like nobody's business. We managed 1 hit. And then also managed 6 strikeouts. After we struck out 7 times from Woods Richardson. Yes, that Woods Richardson. The one your son has a jersey of because that's his favorite player outside of the Angels. That's absolutely pathetic, people. Absolutely pathetic. I'm tired of coming on here complaining about it last year, thinking that this year we'd turn the page and that would be different. Instead, we're seeing the same thing repeat itself. Actually, the pitching's a little bit better than it was last year. And we're seeing more regression from guys who should be tearing the cover off the ball. Yes, I'm talking about you, Mike Nelson Trout. 0 for 4, missing a diving catch, 177. Zach Neto came through with 3 hits and 3 stolen bases. Congratulations, 12 stolen bases as a team in 26 games. Yes, you heard that right. Dead last in the league. Even with Neto's 3 stolen bases today, still dead last in the league, 12 stolen bases in 26 fucking games. Oh, let me look at the walks total. 0! Yeah! Woo! So it means to tell me you can't get on with a hit. You're swinging for the fences. You're striking out like you have to go diarrhea, and you can't work a walk. You can't even put a person on base. Minnesota, again, whether we're walking them or giving up hits, pressured us every single inning, it seemed. Every single inning. That's good baseball. That's good baseball. That's winning baseball. The fact that they didn't score more than 5 runs, it's good pitching by us. Outside of Kikuchi, it's good pitching by us. And you can disagree with that all you want. But again, the results are there. Do you expect, I hate some of the Halo honks online, the AM830 crew, and the old fans at the stadium. It's always, let's blame the pitching. Let's blame the pitching. We never got to start it. No shit, Sherlock. We never got to start it in the offseason. Blame the fucking owner. Oh, we can't do that. He gives away free stuff and the beers are cheap. The clear problem right now is the hitting instructor. We can have all kinds of young Verlanders out there, and it doesn't matter. We're still going to lose. With the way that they're taught to hit through this dumbass organization, it's losing baseball. Rinse, repeat, it's the same thing. It does not matter if Kikuchi would have went 7 innings and allowed 2 runs. We still lose. You still put up 1 run and 5 hits. Okay, I know this team has not had a capable starter, an ace come from the rotation or from the minor league system or from another team at the level of Jared Weaver since Jared Weaver. We have not picked up a starter that is anywhere close to being dominant as one of them. So with that being said, if you're so mad, Halo honks, and you want to blame the pitching, how about you balls up, grab your honks, and say, you know what, enough's enough. It's on the owner. I'm pissed at the owner. I'm going to speak out against the owner. No, they just zip and shut their mouth, because when presented with the evidence, they don't want to take that next step. What the next step is, let's not start a revolt, but let's start protesting a bit at the stadium, outside of the stadium, online, on our social media, on the Angels' social media. No, can't do that. Leave that for the youngsters to do. It's actually the older fans that have all the power. If you see older ones out there doing it, it's one thing for social media, young kids to do it. That's fine. But the Angels will look the other way. The people that buy their shit, the people that go to the games, the people that listen to the radio, turn the radio off. Don't listen to AM 830 anymore. Stop with the propaganda. Speak out. Do it. Put your money where your mouth is. If you really know Angels baseball and you love baseball, and that this is part of your life like it is for a lot of us, then speak out. Say something else. Shit ain't going to change. It ain't going to change, because we've seen this song and dance. They could lose 99 games, and they lost 99 games last year. And what did they do? Let's get Yasiel Kikuchi. Let's get Jorge Soler. We're done. Small trades here and there, depth moves. It didn't move the needle at all. A lot of honks actually believe that this was the year they're going to retool big time. Oh, we should have got Soto. If Soto was going to ask for $60 million over 7 years, yeah, Artie would have been totally in. You think they're going to – they wouldn't even put up $500 million. They weren't even close to $500 million for Ohtani. So what makes you think they're going to go out and get one of these big shot guys? And what makes you think one of these big shot guys want to come here? They know how the organizations ran. Mike Trout is living proof that we're running our star players into the ground. And when we can correct them, we're like, nah, he's Mike Trout. I guarantee you nobody talks to Mike Trout with any sort of cojones. It's just, oh, that's Mike Trout. Let him do what he's got to do. He's Mike Trout. He'll fix it. No, he's not. The game is clearly evolving around him, and he's not evolved with it. And that's the problem with a lot of our guys. You have to constantly keep changing because the other teams are adjusting to you. Once they've adjusted to you, Kyron Paris, he's the biggest. If you don't want to look at Mike Trout, look at Kyron Paris. Kyron Paris, nobody was hotter than he was. He was on the MLB Network. He was blown up, right? It's not psychological with him. It's not like he just forgot how to hit. It's just the pitchers are now knowing what to pitch him now. They got a book on him. So what does he have to do? He needs to realize, okay, I can't do that now. I can't be showing my cards. I can't show the ace up my sleeve. Let me change things up. Let me do this. Let me do that. Let me adjust my swing. Maybe I'm swinging too hard. I got to loosen up a little bit, choke up a little bit, right? And then you find your mojo again. And then when the time comes and you're feeling good again, you can then go out, swing out of your heels again whenever you want. But for right now, the Angels are just spinning their wheels over and over and over and over, and it's ugly. So right now, let's go through the lineup real quick. Soler went 0 for 4. Neto 3 for 4. 3 stolen bases. Trout 0 for 4. 2 strikeouts. 0 for 4 for Taylor Ward. Logan O'Hoppe 0 for 4. 3 strikeouts. And again, you can't have that with your so-called power of the lineup. Your so-called power of the lineup, 3 positions go 0 for 12 with 6 strikeouts. That's pathetic. You're not putting anything in play. You're not doing anything to help the team. You're just out there playing defense. Shawnuel went 0 for 2 before he got hurt. J.D. Davis came in, got a hit. Louis Renifo went 1 for 3, although he slapped the ball hard once again to left field, but it was right at the shortstop. He hit a humdinger. He went the other way again. He's one of the only guys willing to do that. Joe Adele gave you another 0 for 3. Tim Anderson gave you another 0 for 3. So you had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 guys out of 9 who just didn't do jack shit in your lineup. So you're not going to win baseball games when you have that. And again, it's going to be the same thing. Ron Washington's not going to throw his son under the bus. He's not going to throw the analytic guys under the bus. He's just going to come out and say, well, maybe they're still tired from that plane ride. And, we'll get him tomorrow. Kikuchi didn't have it and the pitching was bad. But they ain't blaming the hitters. They ain't blaming the hitters, not going to give them any accountability. Accountability? What the fuck is that? So with that being said, we're going to play our favorite song, it seems, because we lost this game from start to finish. And boy, real quick though, if you think about it, you had the fans, the honk side, the ones that I hate of our fan base, do this when we hit a useless home run. So let's we're down 4. We need to respond. Let's give them this. Solo blast. That's our big response to the Twins. Twins are like, "Oh, you got us there." That's all you can muster? Yep. By the way, whose fault is this? Everything is his fault.
It's me. Hi, I'm the problem. I'm the problem. It's me. Hi, I'm the problem. And I wanna stand with you when you're hurting. I wanna lay with you when you're fine. I wanna stay right here in your arms now. Always, only you. I'll give you love when the night gets colder. I'll bring you light when the sky turns gray. I'll be the hand that you reach to hold, love. Never walk away.
We have a lot of baseball left to be played, and the season starts tonight.
The season starts tonight. I'm already missing the old song we had last year. I mean, the video is great and all, but that old song had me going right there. Just the copyright issues on that stupid song. But anyway, Angels lose 5-1. 5 runs, 13 hits for the Twinkies. 1 run, 5 hits for the Angels. Again, double-digit strikeouts, 13 of them for your Angels, who just can't help themselves on swinging for stupid shit. I mean, it's ridiculous. Again, this is not a good baseball team whatsoever. Not a good baseball team. And I'm not just talking about the Twinkies. I'm talking about the Angels. I mean, on paper, Saucy said it before, and I've repeated it. You have talent all up and down this lineup that could project, like if you're thinking about this on a normal season where they're not all swinging for the fences, you look at Jorge Soler, what does he usually give you? He could probably give you 30 home runs, 90 RBIs, and about a 230, 240 average. Zach Neto could give you probably 27 home runs, 88 RBIs, and about like a 290 average. And then you look at Mike Trout. If he's hitting right, not being as stupid ass as he's been, you would have him hit you about 40 home runs, about 95 RBIs, and hit you about 230, 240. Then you have Taylor Ward's dumbass big ears. He would probably hit you 240 as well, and he would have about 26, 27 home runs, about 85 RBIs, mirroring last year, but he would give you about a 240 average. Logan O'Hoppe should be much, much better. He should be around 280 for the season, hit you about 27 home runs, 80 RBIs. Shonewell should give you something like maybe 12 home runs, 62 RBIs, and about like a 280 average. And I'm being generous with some of these guys because I think they have that potential. Louis Renifo should give you about a 264 average, maybe 270, but be a high on base kind of guy, work some walks in a normal offense. And he should have about like 9 home runs and about 48 RBIs. And Joe Adell should be somewhere around 22 home runs, 59 RBIs, maybe 60-something RBIs, and about 250 average. And then Tim Anderson should be at least about a 230 hitter, 220. I mean, I'm not expecting the world out of him, but like maybe 5 home runs and 35 RBIs, something like that. That should be him and Newman, combined numbers or something, right? But they're far from any of that. They really are. They're far from any of that. It's embarrassing. Let's get to the awards, shall we? I mean, do we have to? The Golden Stamos tonight will be shared by two players who were struggling and got off the schneid today, and that's Carlos Correa. He got 2 RBIs, average gone up to 187. He's having a Mike Trout season so far. He's everyone's favorite Angel right now, Carlos Correa, former Astro. And Harrison Bader will share that Stamos with him. He got 2 hits. He had been 0 for his last 16. He went the other way. I give kudos to guys who are actually trying to fix themselves. They're actually working with the coaches that are actually competent. So I give kudos to the Twins organization for working with their players. And I also give credit to the players adjusting because, again, this was 2 games in a row. This is a very and their offense looked just as pathetic as ours. So did the Pittsburgh Pirates. But guess what? And back-to-back nights or back-to-back series, you have these teams adjusting and playing better and helping themselves out and not sitting there waiting for the pitcher to do it. They're doing it on their own along with their coaching staff. So hats off to them. Those are real organizations. And it's sad to say the Twinkies and the Pirates are better ran organizations, but hey, right now they sure are. Because again, we just keep doing the same stupid shit over and over and expecting it to work. And everyone on AM 830 and the propaganda prime minister, aka PP, which is Roger Lodge, Gubazaw, everyone else will tell you, hey, we won that game the other day because we hit 3 home runs. It works. Okay, 1 in 10, guys. Or at least 1 in every 7 games that works. I mean, it's not winning baseball. You're not going to win more than you lose. And that's supposed to be the name of the game. Be 1-0 today. If you can't do that, try to win the series. Keep trying to win series. You don't have to win 7 games in a row, but hey, if you can take 5 out of the last 6 series and chalk them in the win column, you're doing great. You're headed towards 500 and better. Not like this, though. Not like this. You've dropped 4 out of your last 5 series, and you've looked more and more pathetic each series on offense. And again, we don't have sexy starters. We just don't. Get over it. The owner, again, wants to tell you to get over it. There's nothing we can do about that, but we can change the narrative and try to hit and score runs because the pitching is giving you the opportunity to win these games. So if the hitting was giving you 4 runs a game or better, chances are you'd win more than you lose. But Todd, they lost yesterday 11-4. Yeah, games like that are going to happen when you have bad starters. But this game was in range. You even heard Matty V say they've been left in this game. They're still a bloop and a blast away. I can't argue with that. They were. For the most part, they were in the game the whole time. The bullpen helped them out. And the series before that, same thing. And the series before that, same thing. I mean, they're so lucky. They should be losing their 5th straight series. They should. I don't know how they won that Giants series because they didn't hit in that series either. They should have been swept. And then you can argue if they hit anywhere in that series, they should have swept the Giants. But that's what could happen if you had some consistent hitting. They're at the bottom in league average in runs scored and RBI. So, I mean, that should tell you anything. I mean, again, home runs don't shit if there's nobody on base. Again, I named it yesterday. The Angels are 4th in the majors with home runs at 36 or 37 today, right? But they only have like 96 RBIs. The other teams that are ahead of them and behind them are all triple digits and way above. Like Boston's like 180 RBIs already, or Chicago, the Cubs. So they've doubled our RBI production. So when you look at runs scored, we're way at the bottom. Chicago's way up there despite our home runs. Because again, that's their only source of runs. Those other teams are hitting home runs like the Dodgers, the Cubs, the Red Sox. All those teams are scoring runs because and they're hitting home runs, but they're also getting doubles and singles and sacrifice flies and moving guys over and getting guys in production off the bases. The Angels aren't. And touching base, the Angels are towards the bottom as well. Who got Nacho Night?
Nacho Night, oh yeah, Nacho Night. Pile it up, load it high. Extra shade.
what a sight. All your dreams gone tonight. Had a bad night, lost the fight. No more crunch, just take a bite. It's the Nacho Night Award.
You know those buckets that you were at a construction site and you load it up with dirt and the wheelbarrows, I should say. That's what it is. The wheelbarrow, you load it up with dirt and you take it. It has that one wheel and it has the two sticks on the bottom and then two handles, and you just wheel it over to wherever you got to take it. I think that's what this team deserves right now. No excuses for tonight. We used the whole travel thing yesterday, but this is one where it's like I want to put like some really bad Taco Bell nachos mixed with Del Taco nachos. All the sides, all the fixing on them, just load up a big-ass wheelbarrow, have Jorge Soler, Mike Trout, Taylor Ward, Logan O'Hoppe, even Shonawell with his iced-up knee, not Renifo, Joe Adele, and Tim Anderson sitting at a table or on the floor Indian style on a blanket, you know how you would in kindergarten, and then just dump the wheelbarrow full of nachos right in front of him and have him say, have at it. Because you don't even get helmet nachos with this one, dude. This is shit nachos, dude. You deserved it. That lineup is pathetic. I'm not even going to throw Kikuchi in there because the common sense would be like, hey, Kikuchi had the worst night. He only pitched 2 innings. He put the Angels in a bad spot. Yeah, but the Angels hitters put the rest of the team in a worse spot because they refused to fight back. And that swing by Neto for the home run was an excuse me home run. That was not like I'm powering up, flipping the bat. That was, oops, I got the barrel on the bat, and guess what happened? So this should have been a shutout, but no. So the Angels lose. Again, 5 runs, 13 hits for the Twinkies, 1 run, 5 hits for the Angels. Real quick, those I forgot to say the sponsors. Brewheim sponsors, we kind of go back and forth, but they went for the Golden Stamos. Try their beer. It's delicious. Just go there. Brewheim behind State College in Catella right there in that little corner. You can go and ask for HITI, and they'll get you 10% off a pint. They got some good beers right there and some good food on specific nights. And then as well as 714 tickets. Use our code HITI in the promo, or the apply now code, I should say, and you get 10% off of your tickets, no matter the price, no matter the venue, no matter the place. It could be in Kansas City. You're traveling to Kansas City. Well, guess what? You can get those tickets. You can get them for NBA, hockey, WNBA if you want, or Olympics when that comes around the corner. Just use 714 tickets. The price you see is the price you get, plus you get an additional 10% off and some purchase money towards your next purchase, as long as you have an established profile on there, which is free to get to. So that's the best price. So that being said, let's get into some comments now, shall we? Because this one was a long one. This one sucked ass tonight. Sucked ass. And we're going to get to the star ones real quick. Rye Guy donates $9.99. Appreciate that. Tyler as well. Really appreciate that, because they probably were like, damn, the rant was super hella long. Midapi checks in with, I just want to honk. When the Angels are like, no honking for you. They're like the soup Nazi, because you can't honk your honk to this. Yeah, it was pathetic performance. Sapphire says, I think everyone is done with his team right now. It's your boy says, turned off the game in the 4th inning because I'd rather spritz myself than watch this anemic offense. And it's pathetic. It is absolutely pathetic that they're just doing the same thing over and over and over. Minapi says, at least the rest of my day is sorrow-free. Well, there you go. See, it's only 3 o'clock. You have the rest of your weekend to do whatever the hell you want to do and enjoy yourself. Also, my pen is extremely flaccid. My penis is extremely flaccid with another loss, JR17. The Angels suck on X. He puts in, let's fucking go. Eric Ward says his lineup is currently set isn't good, going to work. Soler is not a fucking leadoff hitter. That right there sucks or fucks the entire vibe of every good game. Why is it so hard to not put speed on top? I don't know, dude. The way that they are doing stuff right now is just so stupid. It doesn't make any sense. Over on TikTok says that's what happens when we have the entire team swinging for the fences consistently. Huge amounts of strikeouts and empty innings. Gooey says, I'm going to need a lot of beers to forget about these losses. I agree. Modest Angel fan ever says trade everyone besides Neto. Fuck! Rally Chris says 2 games under 500. Let's toast a spritz to go back to to go back to sucking. So it's Rally Chris's fault tonight because apparently our boy Mateo is out. So it's spritz o'clock, everybody.
Spritz o'clock, angels play. Win or lose, we toast today. Sip and cheer, no matter score. Spritz o'clock, let's pour some more. Spritz o'clock, let's pour some more. Spritz o'clock, let's pour some more.
Sapphire said I should have just caught up on my sleep tonight after afternoon. I don't know why I woke up for this crap. Angels suck on X says Ryan Johnson was good. He was great. Garrett McDaniels did great as well. I agree with both of those right there. Grillmaster says I'm not even mad. We can't even get any offense going. Eric Ward says also, why the fuck are we not dropping down a bunt while we're struggling to get guys on base? God damn it. Try something, anything else to get on base. Exactly. Eric Wallace says, when does the season start? Oh, wait, here's Roger. Yeah, he already knows right now if there's someone to ask when the season starts, it's one, the only, Roger Lodge.
We got a lot of baseball left to be played, and the season starts tonight.
Grillmaster says no matter who the coaches are, the analytics are killing this team. It doesn't matter who we have. It does matter if you get the right coach in there to say, shut the fuck up and let me run this team. And apparently Ron Washington isn't that manager. Let's see. Also, Grillmaster says happy about baseball season only because of the show. I appreciate that. Sapphire says from Sam Blum, 154 strikeouts and 17 walks. That is absolutely pathetic. The Angels suck say yes, indeed. Also, anyone else in this chat, here in the chat, you got to get the guys on X more vocal over there because I see when you guys do message from X, but the majority come from either YouTube or some now from TikTok. Eric Ward says another gripe. Why is Ron just sitting there while we get fucked on obvious bad umpire calls? Man, stand up for your team. That dude hasn't argued one time for us. That has been very, very disappointing. Also, don't worry, Todd. There's a lot of baseball left to be played, and the season starts tonight. Yeah, that is true, man. And I want to get down to this one because
Emotional damage.
where is the long one right here? It is the ranting one. Where is it? Roger Matt. I know it's somewhere on here. I have to look for that one with because this is what we were doing earlier.
Ball 4. Ball 8. Low, and Vaughn has walked the bases loaded on 12 straight pitches. Boy, how can these guys lay off pitches that close?
Yep.
It's pretty cocky. I want balls and John Stamos.
That's not the one right there either. I'm looking for Roger being pissed off, but I just got
We
this
got a
one right
lot
now.
of baseball left to be played, and the season starts tonight.
Absolutely. Season starts tonight. Andrew Rivas checks in with, it feels like it's the end of August already. This team is not so much different at all from last year. Hope they prove us wrong, but they look horrible out there from all ends. Exactly. Also, Oso says currently deployed overseas, and the Angels don't make my situation better. Here we go again. Here we go again. Oh man, I feel for you, my man.
Oh shit. Here we go again.
Also, Trash Halo says Halos are trash. Grillmaster says I'm gonna go work out now. Thanks for another good show, Todd. Thank you so much for tuning in, Grillmaster. Rally Chris says good thing I didn't watch this piece of shit team today. Marty says we suck some days. I just want to shout fuck. Also, Marty says I blame Grildo for the loss. Mateo checks in with James. Rally Chris says, watch, we're going to win tomorrow to avoid the sweep yet again and split versus the Mariners. Johnny Washington, you're out of here. Also, you have Jesus saying, a manatee lost. At least we got that out of the way. And tomorrow, a brunch sweep. Oh, a matinee loss. My bad. I don't know why I said manatee. Yeah, this is a matinee one. We have a brunch sweep tomorrow. Good God, that's sad if we're predicting that already. Marty says the same thing. We're going to get swept tomorrow, and Seattle will sweep us to add to the pain. Tyler says this actually sucks. Useless Trucker says, Todd, put the Angel May schedule up. Angels are getting slaughtered. I'll check that in a minute right there. Also, this team have small balls, Jesus. Trash Halo says, I nominate Todd Fox for manager. Oh, please put that out there. I would do wonders for this team. And believe me, I would listen to the criticism. I would listen to anybody that has an idea if we're scuffling at all. I'm not one of these guys that would look away and be like, no, it's all me. I know. No. I'm one of these guys that would first fire all the damn analytics people. I'd go back to old school baseball for sure. Mario says, holy crap, I'm still awake to watch your show. He must have been busting an all-nighter. It's your boy says 4 runs is like 10 for a bad offense like ours. Absolutely. Mario says Angels were still tired. I think Q Lombardi. That is true.
What the hell's going on out here?
Also, you got Dan Rio says give Reed a start and demote Kikuchi. That's the problem. Kikuchi's a high paid guy. They're not going to sit him, dude. You're stuck with Kikuchi in that rotation. If you're going to see someone get sat, it's going to be Kowanowitz. Watch. And Kowanowitz hasn't been half bad. I'd argue that he's been as good or if not better than Kikuchi. Also, It's Your Boy says, who do we need to sacrifice to have a good season? I say Grill Master should be thrown to Artie for one time and let him have a day together. Maybe we'll end up above 500 at least. I also nominate Grill Master. Where's Mateo? It's Spritz o'clock. We already played that. Rye Guy says, I'm glad Burger Boy Carl Jr. is gone. Angels bringing up scrub pitchers at this point. Tyler says, could have been a full-on baby poop blowout, but hitting is an issue. Daniel says, afternoon, everybody. Jesus says, if there ever will be a change in this organization to be a winner, us Angel fans need to also follow our minor league teams. If they suck, losing records and major league teams will be bad too. Yeah, I mean, there's a reason why this team has one of the worst ran organizations in the minors. I mean, they have some diamonds in the rough, but it's not like one of these other organizations like the Orioles or the Rays, the Blue Jays, the Dodgers, Rangers. They could just pick and choose and take guys and be like, oh, I want this guy. I think this guy's going to pull through for us. I think this guy's going to be better. I think this guy's going to help the team. We just don't have that. Verlander was available for only $15 million. Nope, we had to get lemon combo of Kikuchi and Hendricks. Yeah, we definitely did go for that because, I mean, there was Flaherty out there. There's a lot of pitchers. I mean, even who's the guy that went to San Diego? They got him super duper late. Blevins or whatever his name is, but whatever. I know it starts with a B. They got him from Boston, and he's pitching his ass off. Useless Trucker says, Todd, put up the AL West standings. We're so back in last place. I'm gonna Useless Trucker, when I get through these comments, I will show you the May schedule for everybody else that hasn't seen it like you. Rye Guy says, this is a buttercup season. The Angels build us up just to let us down. They play shitty and lose games they should have won. Halo Homie says, Todd Fox rant is must-see TV. I'm here for it. I appreciate that, Halo Homie. Also, Mario says, like Saucy said the other day, on paper, this offense looks good, but they can't seem to get hits when they need them. Q Lombardi. Exactly, because they have the wrong approach.
What the hell's going on out here?
Exactly. Also, Minapi says, I was so ready for Fermin. I was going to watch him in the IE, and he got promoted to high A the day before I went. And he's good, Minapi, and he's really, really good. You could see that he's going to be a pitcher that if the Angels aren't stupid and don't waste his options like they keep wasting all these other kids, they'll let him sit up here with Johnson, and then you'll have two young studs that have, because if you've seen the sliders and those changeups and the fastball from Johnson, and then you couple that with the pinpoint accuracy and the speed and the drop off with those pitches that Fermin has, those guys have got some devastating stuff. So there's some things that you could pick out it, tiny bit of hope as you move forward. But for the most part, I mean, we're talking about pitching, like we're still on the pitching side and not being like, hey, well, this hitter's killing it. At least we had Kyron Paris there for a week and a half to where we're like, hey, he's a spark plug. He's pushing this offense to new levels. He's putting pressure on the opponents. Maybe that's going to rub off on the rest of the hitters. Nah. Because soon as he was figured out, and even before he was figured out, they still weren't doing it. At Trash Halo says, to be fair, the home plate umpire was giving extra wide strike zone to the Twins pitchers. There were at least 6 3-2 pitches that were off the plate and called strikes. Kikuchi was painting the black and not getting anything for it. That is true. Those are good points right there because he was getting squeezed early, especially, but still. Marty says no one who wants a championship is coming to this dumpster fire of a team. Halo Homie says, can you please do the Trent Rush voice? Hey. Boy, Trent Rush does not like me because it's gotten back to him on several times. They've sent clips to him, and he definitely knows who I am. So I'll give it to you like this, Halo Homie. So I'm really, really excited about this team moving forward. I really think that, hey, this team has got the opportunity to make the playoffs this year. Yes. Now just follow me on this one. I really think the hitting's going to start coming around. What we need is more home runs. We need to hit more home runs because if we hit more home runs and we score more runs than the other team, guess what? Hey, we win. We win these games. And guess what? Follow my Trent Rush post-game show. After my podcast that I do, after almost every other Angel game that doesn't start on a Saturday or Sunday, I'll do a post-game recap where I take no phone calls and don't vibe with any of the fans on the radio. So I'm Trent Rush. Hey! Also, you got Rye Guy saying Halo Honks was hopeful that Vlad Jr. was going to sign here. Yeah. They'll follow the lineage. He's going to come here for sure. Yeah, if we had a new owner. Mario says, if it wasn't pissing rain today, I would have been out riding and having a good time instead of watching this. That's right. We had unexpected rain today. Marty says, I fear we may never be able to grab our honks again on this road trip. We suck. Rye Guy says, please, Mike Trout, retire. Robert also says, for all the honks saying it's not the coaching, you don't know ball. 154 strikeouts in 14 days with 7 walks. A coach needs to be waking up ASAP if we're trying to win, or at least the team needs to be walking big time. Also, welcome to the Angels, Rizzo. Is that just a did we sign him, or is that just a joke right there? Because again, Rizzo was out there. You have JD Martinez out there. So also you have Marty saying even Shawneewell had enough hitting the balls on his knees and got the hell out of this shitty lineup. Randy checks in with, did we lose again? Yes, we sure did. Also, Neto is the war leader amongst the Angels position players despite missing the first 3. Ricky, that's good. What a complete joke. Absolutely. Randy Yaz says we just got to have patience, guys. That's sarcastic as hell coming from Randy. I want to hear Terry Smith say this team sucks today, and I'm out of here. Also, you got, there you go. Moral victory. We win anyway. Isaac Flores checks in with can be tired of something that doesn't exist. Can't be tired. Also, winning isn't everything, Todd. Grow up. It's the only thing, Mario or Randy, because didn't Lombardi say that? So, Angels fan 99 says, what are your thoughts on Hendricks? Should Detmers replace him as the 5th starter? Look, you didn't spend too much on him, so you're stuck with Kikuchi in the rotation because you did. But Hendricks is a guy that if he continues to struggle, which he's been way up and then way down because he did pitch his first 3 starts not too bad. But if Detmers continues to put up zeros, I think it would be Kowanowitz first because you're not paying Kowanowitz anything, which is going to stunt Kowanowitz's growth. And I only say that because if it's the wrong thing to do, the Angels will do it. So the right thing would to do is what you said, Angels fan, replace the veteran and go with Detmers and give him a second shot at the rotation and keep Kowanowitz in there. But if I had to make a logical move or think of how the Angels would make their logical move, it would be like stunt Kowanowitz's growth and, keep Hendricks a proven veteran who you only see what you've seen out of him. This is the best he's going to be at his age. Keep him in the rotation instead of seeing what Kowanowitz can have. Tyler says, at this rate will be another 85-90 loss season, very likely. Silent E says, I'm glad I didn't wake up at 3 a.m. in Japan just to watch this shit. I'll be like the team and show up when the game is over and put in the work when it's too late. Seems legit, Silent E. Also, are you part of the analytics crew? Mario says more like 100 loss season. Damn, so an improvement, Tyler. Hell yeah, trending up. 100 losses is in the cards, Marty. And he also says, need the boys to be out there for a 100-game loss. I'll buy the bourbons. Yes, we're just going to shower in bourbons. Grillmaster's like, is it Ducks hockey or waiting for Ducks hockey? Like, we got a long way to go. It's your boy Sam Blum says the most hated Angels reporter for I don't know why he tweeted this out, but the Angels offense last 14 games, 154 strikeouts, 17 walks. Bourbon sounds good. Pair that with some cigars. Yeah, hell yeah, it does. That sounds really good. Also, Randy says when Rendon comes back, we're so back. Oh, yeah, right. Also, Rendon might actually help the team. I don't think so for that. Jesus says, can't wait for the NFL season to start up again. It's getting that way. It's your boy just retweeted the Sam Blum thing right there, and I appreciate the super sticker there. Tyler says we need good rum and squid back, and we'll be running down the West, no problem. Raw Dog says over on TikTok, do we have a curse at third base? How long is Moncada going to be out? That was hard. I don't know. I thought we were going to see him in 2 weeks or less, and that has turned into a longer thing. And it's not like he was tearing the cover off the ball either. And I didn't like where he was in the lineup either at 5. But yeah, there's no word on his return either. Rick says we're done. How can every player be on a slump? It does not make sense. That comes down to coaching. We would have one if Patrick Sandoval was pitching and Stassi was our catcher. Yeah, sure. Tyler says, I guarantee you Neto went off script and stole bases. No way the coaches had him do that. Neto wants to win. You can freaking tell coaches are just collecting checks. And the other thing is with that too, you've seen plenty of opportunities for Joe Adell to steal bases. He stands there like a statue. Mike Trout, the same thing. Every other guy that gets on base that has speed, Soler, none of these guys take off to avoid double plays. Instead, they sit there and wait for a guy to roll over on one and get into a double play. Also, my best creation was the spritz. Mario says, I didn't realize Johan Santana was starting today. Q Lombardi. Yeah, I mean, I don't know any of those dudes. I didn't know the guy today who was anything other than reading his name off last night on the show, and he still looked like Johan Santana.
What the hell's going on out here?
Grillmaster also says we have to teach these Angels players how to walk. Oh, wait, they've had a walk in they haven't had a walk in 3 weeks. Also, Rick Guzman says Ron Washington just sits on his ass, no emotion whatsoever. True. Also, Wash don't have black magic to save us. Boy, that better not be a racist comment by you, Grill. The Angels suck, says they completely put their bullpen to waste. The bullpen did so damn good, and it did. They had every opportunity to win this game. Marty says Ron goes to argue, but ump just tells him to sit down, cokehead, and he shuffles back to the dugout. Also, Mario says, I heard Marsha's getting knocked up. Oh, I don't know about that. Dan Rios, that makes him horny. Rye Guy says, can we switch Manassian brothers? By the way, you have to play this one since he said horny.
There's a lot of baseball left to be played, and the season starts tonight, which makes me so horny, and me love you long time.
Angel Suck says, I guess I'm day drinking 2 days in a row. Well, if you are, go down to Brewheim and get our discount right there, my brother. Robert says it's football season already for Heedy. Yeah, we're going to be jumping over to the, what is it called? To the unfiltered sportscast. Gooey checks in and says, I just can't believe how shitty we look. Yeah, we're terrible out there. Randy Oz says Angels are sliding faster than Shador Sanders in the draft. Hey, guess what, Randy? He's a Brown now at the 5th round, and the Angels are in 5th. So your analogy works. Robert says Heedy Network called it first. Kikuchi was a bad signing, not an ace, didn't earn his spot. Thank you, Robert, because you were one of the first ones to say that, if not the first. Mario says Sanders trying to be Mr. Insignificant or irrelevant. I told y'all that we should have fired Perry 2 years ago. Guy is a bum. Let's see. Also, Nick Pavetta. Thank you, Robert. Nick Pavetta. That is the dude that could have been had by us easily. Was a West Coast guy, and he's pitching good for San Diego. Just look at his ERA. Look at his innings pitched already. He came in late in spring training and has put up numbers for them, and he's like their number 5. He'd be our number 1 easy. Jesus says on the other night flight, they need to take their My Pillows. Yeah, that could have helped them a little bit. Also, you had Mario say, I don't think anything will change as long as Artie's the owner. That's true. And we've been saying that is true for a while now. Silent E says it's going to be a long season, and May is about to suck. A lot of baseball left to be played, but the season the season starts tonight. I don't know, and we have a date for April 23rd, the Pittsburgh series, where we can recover from that loss as far as like calling the time of death. Gooey says the team is flatlined right now. Also, Robert says, good morning for the day, Todd. Me and you talked about getting Tyler Mahle, yes, and Nick Pivetta, and I did say Kendricks, I will eat crow on that, but also said David Robertson, who's still out there. Robert is he's like, if I'm the in-house, hitter on this page as far as playing baseball, Rob's our pitcher. He's a dude that's pitched in high-level baseball as well, and he's he knows his shit, and he's been calling for certain pitchers to be on this club that are not, he's not calling for $200 million dudes. In the off season, Robert's gotten on here and we've done little roundtables and talked Angels baseball, and just we're like, hey, wouldn't it be interesting if we got this guy? And Robert pulls, pitchers out of the hat and was like, hey, you look at this guy. He breaks him down and says, this guy would help our rotation. He's going to cost on the cheap, which is right up the Angels' alley. It's a no-brainer. And like he said, 3 out of the 4 of those names are no-brainers that the Angels should have took a flyer on. And they were right there to get. One of them went to our freaking our division rival. So that hurts even more. So you think the rest of the organization or the rest of the division's like, oh, crap, the Angels got Kikuchi. No, they're just like, they got Kikuchi. Yeah, it didn't work out. Right Guy also says Pavetta. Silent E says a power tool is useless without a good hit tool. Well, yeah, and a power, what's a battery, I should say. There's no battery on this team. Gooey says, even though Neto just came back, he is your leader right now. Switch Hendricks and with Detmers in rotation. I agree with that. Saucy says, this team needs a complete overhaul. It might be time to actually do that. Complete rebuild. We can't do that, Saucy. You don't understand. If this team were to go into a complete rebuild, how would he be able to get you to come to Christmas in June? How would he be able to get you to buy all those Mike Trout bobbleheads? Trout needs to be gone for this to be a complete rebuild. He just refuses to do that. And again, he'll justify it by saying, well, look at all our young players, which they do have young players, but you do need coaching and you do need tutelage to help these players to get better and to work out their kinks. That's what these baseball players have state-of-the-art film rooms for, workout facilities, everything to help the team and the players grow together along with the coaching staff and the way that they want them to hit on certain nights. They just don't go out there and say, okay, go ahead and hit like this, press the A button or do whatever you got to do. It's all about, I guess, it's all about playing the game how it should be played and not always being like, and doing, you can mix the actual analytics along with gut and come out with a good team like most teams do, just not this one. I still would have signed Bellinger's last year, Mario says. Also, Robert says transition Hendricks into a reliever long man. I like that. Saucy says it's so hard to watch this team last place again. Yes, last place and so early. Is it football season yet? Gooey says, nope, it's not. But if you like the UFL, yes. If you want to see some Birmingham, more like they want to do home runs only. Yes, Mike G, it is. Seems like they only want to, they don't want to make contact hits. They don't. They're not putting the barrel on the ball. Saucy says $3 night tickets coming. They sure are. Jason says, I love how we suck. Embrace the suck. Randy says also, can't wait for the monster truck season. It just finished. Modest Angel fan ever says, can Artie fire himself? Enough is enough. I think what you're advocating for is suicide. Also, Jason Hess is like, I'm just tired of it. And it's all about these nuts. And well, first off,
These nuts. Got him. Got
just for the hell of it, let's listen to Roger going nuts.
Anymore. I just can't. And they can fire me if they want. But I can't sit around and listen to negative phone call after negative phone call. If you're a so-called Angel fan, if you're a Halo honk for life like me, then shut up with Sosha's got to go. It's this guy's fault. It's that guy's fault. Forget it. Let it go. We got a lot of baseball left to be played, and the season starts tonight. If you don't want to say anything positive here this afternoon, stay off of my phone line. The Angels.
That's your boy for propaganda prime minister right there. Silent E says power is useless if you can't hit hit. However, much pop is in this lineup, and it shouldn't be swinging for the fences all the time. Until the very least, they need to learn how to hit. Face the facts, Ron. There's no pop here. Rye Guy says also, Canning doing well with the Mets. I guess that's what happens when you have a competent coaches. Yep. And you watch when Sandoval makes his debut in June or July, he'll start pitching really good for Boston as well. I guarantee you that. Randy's trying to say I'm racist. He went to the Browns. Good grief. Dan Rio says, yeah. Hey. Makes me laugh, dude. Also, Useless Trucker says, try the Red Angel at Bruheim. You're going to need it. Absolutely. Jason Hess says, Mr. Irrelevant is Purdy. Angels Suck on X says, I'm glad I found this podcast, brother. Thank you for providing the Angels, providing us Angels fans with some real everything from the Angels organization is propaganda. Everything. Well, yeah, like I said, we're most of the time on with our shows every day. So you'll have some sort of content here on YouTube or wherever you listen to podcasts. And then for post games, we're here every night. We're here every day whenever they win or lose. We don't give you 15 minutes of content, and we give you the full scope of things. And we take, we're still working on, I'm still trying to get that stupid ass Google thing to work. But once we get phone calls, we'll have phone calls up in here too, like we did all last year. So I'm glad you like it, and I'm hoping that you can attract more people over to us. It'd be great. Randy Yaw says, General Manager, not good morning. Oh, yeah. My bad, Randy. Also, can we keep Matty V and ditch Wayne? It's a better broadcast. It is, actually. I will say that Matty V is a true professional. Randy also says, I would love to see the Angels during a complete rebuild. Do you think that they're irritated now? Or you think they're irritated now? Yeah, this fan base would, I guess, I don't know, because I think what it comes down to, Randy, is I think we would have been able to take a rebuild, like you've said it, Randy. Because he's broken this down too. Robert said it, Fernando said it, James has said it. Everyone on this network has said it that has shows on this network. And that is the fact that if we were to have done a rebuild after maybe 2018, 2019, when it was apparent Mike Scioscia's gone, where we should have hit the rebuild. We should have traded Trout before the 2020 pandemic season. That would have made sense. I think it would have been hard. It would have been like ripping a Band-Aid off, but I felt that if the Angels could get through with what happened with Ohtani last year, losing him and then losing where he went to, and, having to deal with all that and watch him win a World Series, I think we can, as a fan base, get through a rebuild. It's just the problem is it's now 6 more years into mediocrity. So you've had over a decade now of losing baseball. It would have been much easier if you're just removed a few years from the postseason. And then it's like, okay, we need it. Because think about it. If they would have traded Trout in 2000 after the 2019 season, you would have Ohtani still for a couple more seasons. And then likely if you are invested in a full rebuild and he turns in one of those MVP seasons, which he did, then you trade him too and you get a buttload in return before you lose him to free agency. And then you have a completely different team today, which is a team that probably is in the postseason by now. You would have already gotten away from the rebuild, and there would have been nothing to talk about but positivity on this channel. It would have been positive, but right now we're too negative. Also, maybe great in 28, 29, Angels Apocalypse in 26. No, we're spritzing in 26. Robert says, worst part of the team, worst part is that even in the last, it's early and we're only 3.5 games out. We're in last place and it can still make changes. Fuck, is this team like Cowboys fans? It must feel like Matty Mac because that's the way they are. Marty says, who will come in play at first base when Shauna will likely out for a few games? That's what's his name, the guy we just picked up, and I'm blanking on his name. Let me get it right here because I have it, and that's JD Davis. JD Davis will be your first baseman. Randy's saying Artie cares. Yeah, sure he does. Marty says Wally Joyner is available. Botched investigation says Angels never blew it up and buttercupped us all. That's true. We needed that blow up a long time ago. Mario says probably can still put the bat on the ball, meaning Wally Joyner. Also, Silent E says this team is playing like shit, not swinging or swinging for the fences, just swinging not to get hits. No one in this lineup. One wiener next to the other wiener party. Ron doesn't know know how to win. He knows wieners. Yeah, he doesn't know winners. He knows wieners for sure. But yeah, even Silent E is a huge Angels fan, been an Angels fan for a long time. He diagnosed this team a long time ago too, and it's the same shit. He was saying the same thing as, we did podcasts that were like, man, okay, it's just hard to hit the reset button. But Silent E said it a long time ago too. You should have hit the reset button a long time ago. And this team just didn't do it. And it's why we're where we're at. And you keep trying to like plug the holes on a sinking ship, and you're going to continue to go down. So I don't know if this team's a 100-loss team. I really had my hopes for 81 and 81. But when you play baseball like this, it's not sustainable. And, I already played the Wiener song earlier. What's up, Joshua? It was nice again to meet you at the stadium. Botch says Roger Lodge's concerns. Let me go over this May schedule here, since a lot of you guys wanted to check out what the May schedule looked like as we're ending up here in April. Here's what the May schedule looks like. So you finish the April schedule with the Twinkies and Mariners, right? And then so Thursday, May 1st is a start of a 10-game homestand. Detroit here for 4, which is a playoff team. You got Toronto in here where they're up and down, but they could kill the ball. So hitting-wise, they're really, really good. Pitching, not so much, but hey, it doesn't matter when you have a shit lineup like ours, right? Then you got Baltimore coming in. Interesting series. They were a team that was picked to win that division, right? They've been off to a miserable start right now. The Baltimore Orioles right now are 10-15. They are in last place. Their pitching continues to be the problem. So losing Corbin Burns was huge, but I didn't think it was going to, ripple through their entire rotation. They have been trash. But will that help us out or give us an advantage? Probably not. Then we have a West Coast trip, so to speak. And we go to San Diego May 12th for a 3-game series on one of the hottest teams in the league. Then we go to Dodger Stadium for a weekend series with the Dodgers, 3-game series right there. We all know what they are about. Then we go to Oakland. And again, throw the record out. It doesn't matter what Oakland/Sacramento is. We've known this for years. The Angels can put together a monster team and actually be hitting. And then their pitching will fail. Or their hitting is great and their pitching will hold up, but their hitting disappears when they play them. And we always get into one of these 2-1 games with them and lose. So that's a rough 10-game West Coast trip right there. San Diego, LA, Sacramento. And then we come home for Miami. Again, in previous years, I'd be like, man, I could circle these games. I feel confident about this series. I'm chucking them all down the losses or maybes. I'm not looking and saying, hey, Miami's coming to town. That's going to be a good series. I think we have the advantage. This team has given me no reason to be circling certain games like I think we have the advantage. It's more like circling games of, that's potential loss, most likely a loss. Can't see us winning this game, and so on and so on. And then we get the Stankies in town, the 26th through 28th. And then to close out May, we're in Ohio to face the shit fucks. That's a tough schedule. There's really no weenie team in there. I mean, because again, Oakland is better than us right now at this specific time. So, yeah, every team looks better than we do right now, and that's sad. Also, you have Dimitro saying nothing like a midday loss. Yay. Also, Marty says, since the Dong left, we just seem to care about running bases to show off our wieners. Mario says, baby, your boy is right. Move to Texas and become a Rangers fan. Also, Botch says Roger Lodge's only concern is Trout's home runs. It's like winning a World Series to that guy. Silent E says should have hit the reset button in 2018 at least. If this team was rebuilding with Ohtani in its rookie contract, things would be totally different. I have an article coming out about that in the future, and I can't wait to read that one as well. Check out our Substack because Silent E writes for us and really kills it right there. I'm now a Modesto Manteca Turlock Athletics fan. Marty says, can we just skip May and go to June? Robert also says, can we just get an entire section in the hundreds and start to sell the team chant, please? That would be nice. Mario says, San Diego is a good stadium to watch a game. I'm planning to go there during one of the games of the series. I will be there as well. Botch Investigation says, I like the Emeryville, Woodland, Chico, Humboldt Athletics. Go A's. T-ball team in Orange County would strike out Mike Trout. Yes, they would. And speaking of that, we're going to talk about real quick here the games. I'll just recap some of the games before I get out of here because it's already 3 o'clock. I don't want to keep too many of you that are here. You guys should be enjoying family or friends right now or doing something that makes you happy other than talking Angels baseball. Some of the scores from Saturday so far, the Phillies have a 10-4 lead on the Cubs in Chicago, Wrigley, so they're likely to win that game. Phillies are 500 so far. The first place Rangers had a 2-0 lead on the Giants, but the Giants have tied it up, and it's in the top of the 9th inning. 2 men on for the Rangers. That game may go to extra innings, but the Rangers might be trying to go for the kill shot in the top of the 9th inning up there. They have 2 on with 1 out. The Chicago White Sox are 6-20. They are beating the Athletics right now 10-3 in the 9th inning there up in Sacramento. Then you got the Mets in the bottom of the 5th leading the Nationals 2-0. You have the Red Sox over the shitfucks in the 2nd inning 1-0. Tigers and Orioles just getting underway. Royals and Astros coming up here soon. You got Atlanta and the Diamondbacks later on. Rays at Padres this evening and Pirates at Dodgers. Skeens got the shutout win. That was awesome. Tickets going as low as $63 tonight. So that's the lowest ticket at Dodger Stadium. And the Marlins and the Mariners go tonight in the nightcap. Finals from today in game 1 of the doubleheader. The Tigers beat the Orioles 4-3. The shitfucks beat the Red Sox 5-4. And then you had the Cardinals over the Brewers 6-5. And you had the Reds defeating the Rockies 6-4, and the Yankees and the Jays were postponed. So that's all the games summing up for today, and that's what's going on currently in Major League Baseball. We got some other stuff going on here with the Angels. Hopefully tomorrow they can possibly win on a morning game tomorrow. We should have the post game up around 1 o'clock, depending on how fast the game goes. Maybe 1:30, something like that. So after the Angels baseball game, hopefully they can avoid a sweep. And it's very sad that they're going to finish this road trip more than likely, on a losing end because you got Seattle coming in. I mean, you finished a homestand, very disappointing, 3-3. So the team has been playing pretty shitty so far. So more like, yep, or big time. So we're not even by winning at this time.
I'm by winning. I win here and I win there. Now what?
Yeah, exactly. So, oh no, we suck again.
No! We suck again!
So that being said, enjoy the rest of your day. Enjoy the family. Enjoy the friends. Do something for yourself. Do that hobby that you love. Like my dad, he plays with trains when he gets frustrated with the Angels. He's like, I'm going to go and I'm going to play with my trains in the garage. Okay, go for it. So you guys and gals have a good rest of your day. We'll see you tomorrow. I appreciate all the love. And keep like and subscribe, share, give a thumbs up, do whatever you got to do. But please put the word out there because we love the fans. And, here's some sponsors before we get out of here. Have a good rest of your day.
Brought to you by 714 Tickets in Anaheim, your trusted source for Angels tickets at unbeatable prices with no hidden fees. Whether it's home or away, they've got your seat covered. Visit them at 2424 East Catella Avenue, Anaheim, or online at 714tickets.com. Mention HITI and get 10% off your purchase. And Brewheim, Anaheim's premier craft brewery, pouring fresh, locally brewed beers in a welcoming atmosphere for Angels fans and beer lovers alike. Stop by their tap room at 1931 East Right Circle, Anaheim, or check them out at Bruheim.com. Mention HITI and get 10% off your tab. The OC Dugout, your one-stop shop for officially licensed Angels memorabilia, custom jersey framing, and exclusive autograph signings with your favorite players. Visit them at 1928 East Center Street, Anaheim, or online at theocdugout.com. Support the businesses that support Halos in the infield.